Hey, my name is Aaron, and you're currently watching episode 8 of Aaron is Perfect. Hi again. This is the 8th episode of this podcast, and I've had lots of people following me along now and watching. So, God bless you. Thank you. Yes. And I just got back from Florida. I released episode 7 while I was there, so I had to get everything scheduled so that it was up there in time for that. So I didn't really get to advertise for it. So I'm gonna just like quickly shoot an advertisement for episode 7 while I'm recording podcast number 8, just to like remind people that episode 7 is out there. So just bear with me. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, episode 7 has been out for a couple of days now, and I know I didn't get an opportunity to advertise for it, but here it is. I'm currently recording episode 8. See? That's what it looks like. And so while you're waiting for episode 8 to come out on Friday, you can go back and watch episode 7, because I highly doubt you've seen it yet. Anyway, good luck. Godspeed. Or whatever other type of speed that you can do. All right, so you will probably see that advertisement before you actually see this, and then you can relate it back when you watch this. Isn't that exciting? Isn't time just fascinating? It's so bizarre how time works. Anyway, yes, so finally, I am home from Florida. I was there for a weekend. I'm just going to grab this coffee. I'm looking at the viewfinder to find out where the coffee is, and I got it. And I am absolutely incredibly amazed with myself, because the viewfinder is a teensy little screen on the side of the camera. I'm going to burp. Am I? Hard to say. I don't know. I'm going to take a sip of the coffee. Here we go. Burp first. I do things in different order sometimes. So I don't know if you can see this. Oh, never mind. You know when batteries die in things and you don't change them, but then a couple days later you click the thing on again and they work again, and you're like, oh, okay, well maybe the battery still had a little bit of juice in them. That happened with this sign. There's a sign that I have back here that says on air, and it's like a little LED sign that you can click it on, and it has a purple light. It takes 4 AA's for some stupid reason, and they die quickly. So I'm not going to put any more in there. It looked cool for the first couple episodes, and I only switch it on for like the hour episode, and then I turn it off for the rest of the day. So, and I was only able to do it for the first, 4 episodes until the thing died. So it's a huge waste of batteries. I love that it says on air, because it's kind of my name but backwards, and I've contemplated turning it around so that you can only see it backwards, but it still wouldn't really make a lot of sense. So anyway, I like that. I like when words turn into like other words. Like my name does that a lot. Like people like, and I always catch it no matter what. It's always there in my brain whenever somebody says it. But if somebody says like, "Oh, I got to put the air on," I'm like, "You said my name. I know you're talking about air conditioning, but you said my name. And you got my attention. What? What do you want? I don't care about the furnace or the air conditioning. What the fuck do you want, man? Tell me what you want right now." Or when they say, I got to put air in my tires, you're saying my name. Like, say it different. I have to fill my tires with air. You know? I've got to go put the air conditioning on. Not, I'm going to put the air on. No, you're not. That doesn't even make sense. That's not even a sentence. Put the air in. Don't. Don't put me. Don't do that. But I do that with a couple other things too. My favorite thing to do is when it's bedtime for my kids. And my wife says, guys, time to put your pajamas on. And in my mind, I go, pajamas on Prime. That's what I do every single time. And I think about Amazon Prime, obviously, but I do it in like the... what the fuck is it called? Optimus Prime voice. It's time to put your pajamas on Prime. I do it every time, and in my head. Sometimes I say it with words, but most of the time I just say it in my head. And that type of shit makes me laugh. The worst and best version of this is usually it's a brand name for a lot of things. It's just a name. It's somebody's name. And if your last name is Dixon, do me a huge favor. Don't name a business after with your first name first. Like there's so many names out there, brand names with the first name of the brand, Dixon, and it's always like Dixon something. Like there was a brand from years ago. They're called yogurt. It was a yogurt brand and it was called Dixon Yogurt. Do you hear the problem with that? In case you don't, I'll explain it. Dix and yogurt. Oh, my tummy just made a funny noise. Probably because it's so fucked up about hearing about Dix and yogurt. And I remember that name, and that's why, like, it's from a long time ago. I tried to find it again, but you can't find it anywhere. And I'm assuming that was on purpose, because it's a no-no. But here's a small list of names that I found hilarious. Dixon Distilled Spirits. Don't put your dick in that. Dixon Crayons. So that one is a little different because it can be like Dix and crayons. Or it could be like you open a box and there are some crayons and some dicks. Dixon Music. Like, what do those sound like? Put your dick in music. I feel like it would sound like a trumpet. Imagine to somebody, okay, there's two different ways that I could see that. A dick actually making that sound, like making a trumpet sound, or someone blowing into a dick and it sounding like a trumpet. Either of those two things are very funny. Not funny enough for me to laugh at it, I guess. Dixon Technologies. That one is like, it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's still pretty good. Like, if you think about technologies, there are so many different versions of technology. But, like, if you put a dick in there somewhere, it's kind of funny. And the Dixon Festival. So you put your dick in at this festival. Whatever, it doesn't even matter what it is. Everybody's dancing. You put your one dick in, and you shake it all about, or whatever. I find that name to be hilarious. It's one of those names, and there's lots of names out there like that where you could easily like switch it to something else. My name is perfect for that. But Dixon is the funniest fucking name in the world, so definitely do not use, if your first or last name is Dixon and you decide to be an entrepreneur and open a company, either do it and do it really well, or don't. Like, if you're gonna do it, then use that as the joke for sure. You know, like Dixon envelopes, or like, I don't know, Dixon hands. If you're like a hand masseuse or something, Dixon hands. That'd be really funny. Or like, I don't know. Yeah, there's lots. There's many. There's lots that I could probably come up with. I'm not going to do it on the spot because you'll be sitting here waiting in silence while my fucking gears turn and produce almost nothing. So let's not do that. But yeah, I was in Florida. I was in Florida for a week, and so it was from the Thursday to the Sunday. Sunday was the home day, and There are a multitude of things that I hate about traveling, and I know that I share this opinion with like millions of people, not thousands, millions, probably billions of people. Traveling is notably and like nationally, internationally recognized as being a pile of shit. It sucks. It's the worst traveling. I don't mind road trips. Road trips are kind of fun, but like airports, that type of shit, nah, it's awful. And like, I have a really horrible fear of flying. Irrational. It's irrational. I feel like irrational is like there is no way to convince me otherwise. Like I just cannot get the fear of this thing out of my head. It is a fucking flying skyscraper that physics, to me, doesn't seem to be a factor here. They've just, yeah, let's do this thing. We'll like throw this giant, heavy ass fucking skyscraper through the air at 600-700 kilometers an hour. And yeah, kilometers. I know. I'm Canadian. But you're just fucking throwing this thing as fast as possible, this heavy fucking thing full of jet fuel, as fast as possible through the sky. And it's a terrifying thought. The whole thing is terrifying, and so many people do it every single day. And they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to take a flight. You're just not going to do anything. You're going to fly in a fucking skyscraper across the planet at insane speeds and hopefully not have one of those engines accidentally blow up, or I don't know, have like a fucking giant suitcase shift in the basement. Yeah, that's how big it is. It has a basement in the lower compartment, and like throw off the fucking weight of the plane and like throw you into the ocean or into the side of a mountain or some shit. I fucking and I know that like there are thousands of planes flying around the world all day long, every day, and you never fucking hear about it, but it doesn't matter to me. That doesn't seem to change my view. And like I remember probably the one thing that I heard that someone said that like helped me maybe a little bit was what the fuck makes you so special that you're gonna be that one person, or you're gonna have that flight that fucking goes down? Like it never happens. It's extremely rare for flights to go down. You know, so much that you hear about there's so little that you hear about every single one of them for the most part, and it's extremely infrequent. But I have this this is mildly controversial because it's not nice to say this type of shit, but I kind of hope like a day or like maybe a week max before my flight, a different flight goes down, so that it helps with like the ratio of flights. Like how often do you hear about one flight going down and then a couple days later another one? Like if that happens, people are like, okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong. That would like the airlines go back to stage one and like try and figure out why they can't get fucking flight correct, you know? Airliners getting canceled and shit. I think, yeah, you don't hear about that type of stuff because it doesn't happen. So I think that my average would be better if like a plane went down. Just I don't want anybody to die. Obviously, I don't want planes to crash ever. I wish it would never happen. But I feel like if one were to go down a couple days before mine, I might feel a little better on the plane. Just like then I would feel that what makes you so special comment a little more. You know, I'd be like, yeah, see, I'm not special. Those people were. Those people who are literally dust were special. So special. We don't know any of their names because there were 240 of them, but they were special people, and they got the privilege of being incinerated so that I could go on and feel comfortable on an airplane. I take lorazepam. I take 2 lorazepam before I get on the plane. Usually about a half hour before I get on the plane. I have yet to have them do what people say they do, because I still panic. And you know what's even worse than panicking on an airplane or having like a serious fear of flying? Having a serious fear of flying or panicking on an airplane with two young children around you. Because it's really hard because I have two different ways that I feel about it. Sometimes I'm like distracted by them, so I'm able to recognize, or I'm trying to, I'm seeing the excitement in their eyes, so I'm trying to get excited with them, and it like makes me forget about how scared I am. Or it's like, or I'm just holding on to sanity, because there's sometimes like even the last time when we flew home. On Sunday, we flew home at like, our flight was delayed by 40 minutes. So our flight didn't like leave until about just 8:45. My kids go to bed at 7. So you can tell where I'm going with this. Kids were like tired as fuck, bugging each other, having little weird arguments. We're all fucking exhausted sitting in this airport. Like sitting at a gate is the worst thing in the world. But when you do it at nighttime with two little children, it's really fucking hard. And so they're fucking at odds with each other, yelling at each other and whatever. No screaming. Luckily enough, we didn't have any of that. They enjoy flight. They like it. They like the whole flying experience. Thank fucking God. And but they were like bugging each other and like whining and like, what can I do? I want to do something. It's like, for fuck's sake. It's like, just wait. Patience is what's required right now because you're at a fucking airport and we're about to board. So can you just, and then you get on the plane, they're like squiggling on, I don't want to wear the seatbelt. Like, you don't have a fucking choice. You just sit here and you wait the 40 minutes in this fucking seat before we take off. That's what you do. That's part of flying. That's part of this whole fucking experience. And it's awful. So yeah, they had a really hard time. And then they fell asleep, which is great. It's exactly what we were hoping they would do. But that gave way to me being able to really recognize and feel all of the feelings I was feeling on the airplane. And my favorite part about it was the seatbelt sign stayed on almost the entire flight because we drove through 4 different thunderstorms. We flew around, not through, because you can't do that, but you still feel that in an airplane. So it was bumpy as all fuck, and it was terrifying. I'll put it here, but I took some video outside of the airplane window of us flying around this giant fucking storm. One of the multiple storms that we were flying around. And it was, it was terrifying. That type of shit scares me just thinking about it. And then I had to experience it. And I did not enjoy that at all. Did not enjoy it. Hate that shit. Hate flying. I definitely fear every part of being in an airplane. And I felt no part of my lorazepam. And it was awful. I hate flying so much. There was another part of that I thought was funny, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, definitely can't remember. We stayed at an Airbnb while we were there. It was my grandmother's 93rd birthday, which was really cool. She very much enjoyed us being there, and I enjoyed being there with her. We had a great time. Ate lots of really great food. My kids hated every meal they ate. They decided that this was the time that they were going to be super picky. We go to restaurants literally for every fucking meal, and they're going to be super picky about it. They're like constantly bugging us to go to restaurants all the time. Like we don't do that often. I was like, oh, can we eat at a restaurant today? We want sushi, we want pasta, we want all this stuff. And then we get to fucking Florida. I'm like, you have every possible option here. And like, do you guys want chicken fingers? Ew. What? Why now? There's like not as many options here. Can you just fucking eat the thing you normally fucking eat when we go to a restaurant? Like suddenly you don't like mac and cheese? Why? Yes, you do. You're being silly. But the food in Florida is really good. Florida's a big place, but my grandmother lives in St. Pete, which I love. It is like the Portland of fucking Florida. It is like more of a, like it's a. I would assume it's more of a left-leaning state. Maybe a little less now than it was a couple of years ago, before like the Trump administration days. It's probably a little more left, but it feels righter. Or sorry, it feels lefter. It was a little more. Oh my god, I'm fucking this up. I think they're a little more conservative now than they probably were before. Maybe a slightly more racist, but that's a huge overgeneralization. It was a joke. Okay, fuck. Had to always add a disclaimer. But it was cool. One of the big differences that I noticed was me and my stepdaddy went to a bar. We had like a little night out, which was really fun. We had a couple drinks and stuff. We went to a bar that you could smoke in. So we walked in and there were people sitting at the bar smoking. That you can't do that in Canada at all. The entirety of Canada. There is not one bar where you're allowed to do that. I'm sure there's some where they just do, but you can't. It's illegal to do that here in Canada. So that was kind of interesting. And I quit smoking. 5 years ago? Maybe 6 years ago, and I smoked forever. So I walked in there. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember. I was like, I had both of the, like, I was grossed out, but also I was, like, intrigued. Like, I kind of liked the smell of it, I kind of wanted to keep it. It made me want to pick up a cigarette and smark it down my mouth. But I didn't, because it would just start all over again. I have an addictive personality, so it would just start all over again, and I would hate myself for doing it. So, but overall, Florida was awesome. I had a great time. Got this new shirt, which is currently it's I would say number 2 favorite shirt. It's brand new. I know you can't see it if you're only listening, but it's from this cafe. It's called the Banyan Cafe because there's these beautiful banyan trees down the like kind of by the water in St. Pete in like the main city. And it's this little cafe that has like amazing breakfast and great coffee, but it's tie-dye, like rainbow fucking tie-dye with their logo in white on the front, and it's an extra large. It's a big shirt, and I don't usually wear bigger shirts, and it flows on me, but I think it looks good. I think I look really nice. I really like it. I've worn it 2 days in a row now because we did laundry yesterday, based on the fact that we had a bunch of laundry in Florida, so we got home and we did some more laundry, so I was able to wear this shirt again, and that makes me happy with a little smile and a wink. Yeah, that was cool. I'm a shirt guy, right? If you haven't noticed, I find shirts to be difficult because not all of them look good on me. I have a weird shaped body. Okay, my body's shaped weird. It's probably shaped totally normal, and most people who look at me be like, "That person is a normal person." But I look in the mirror and I'm like, "You don't look right. Something's wrong with your body." Excuse me, sir. What the fuck's wrong with your body, sir? Take it off. Take that body off and replace it with one that makes sense. This is stupid and ugly, and you don't like it. But yeah, like I want to go to. I wish money wasn't an option. I wish money was never a thing. And like I do fine. I'm fine when it comes to my financial situation. I'm totally good, but I'm not in a position to just buy whatever the fuck I want whenever the fuck I want. And nobody really is. They just do it anyway. Even if they're rich, they just do it. You don't need to do that really ever. It's completely unnecessary. But sometimes I wish I just had like the same amount of clothing that a store has, and it would just circulate with like the seasons, circulate with the different fashion things, and I didn't have to fucking worry about it. I would just like try shit on, and then that day that, you know, or that like whatever day I would just like put on a shirt and I'd be like, yeah, this looks good, and I would just walk. Like if I could just like go walk into a store every single morning and like pick out my shirt and pants and just do it that way, that would be awesome. Just a new, completely new thing every single day. That'd be fucking cool. I'm sure lots of celebrities have that kind of going on. Every morning they, you know, someone brings in a whole new line of fashion from like H&M or some shit, whoever they're sponsored by. They just wear a brand new whatever. They just have a fucking stylist who just like does everything for them. This is probably real. I'm finding it kind of funny and like this weird, having this like cute little imagination about it, but it's probably a real thing that's actually real that people really do. Have like, oh yeah, I have an H&M sponsor. I can't actually wear any other clothing. That is so sad, man. We live in such a sad fucking place, don't we? I mean, like, yeah, sure, I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but I'm sure that exists. And if it does, that's sad and pathetic. And sponsorships are weird. Because, yeah, in some cases, they're only based off of, like, if you're going to be on camera or you're going to be, like, you know, doing a spot or doing a commercial. Yes, of course, you have to be wearing that particular thing. But some people, like, actually have to, like, they can't wear, like, anything other than Nike shoes. Oh, it's in my contract. Like, as a human being of Earth who has autonomy, whatever the word is, anatomy, penises, you can't walk around the world with any other shoes than a pair of Nike shoes or some shit. I find that so fucking weird. Now, if I had a Nike sponsorship, I'd have no problem with that because I like shoes. I hate capitalism, but what you gonna do? It's here. Not much I can do about it. I can't stop capitalism myself, you know? So, I mean, I could stop in like investing in billionaire brands, but I'm not gonna. I'm not going to. I am a victim of corporate bullshit. A victim, a willing participant who also does this. Shakes his fist in anger like, why, you fucking bastard? Stop selling me your shit for a lot of money. And then, like, exploiting kids and shit. Don't do it. Anyway, how much is that? I'll take it. I don't care where it's made or who made it. Give it to me. It looks good on my... It looks good under my clothing. It's like underwear. Looks good. Nobody ever sees it. But I like the way it looks on my genitals or whatever. Yeah, Florida was great. It was really cool. Even though it was a small amount of time, I still feel like we did a lot, and I still feel like I wouldn't, like, I don't know that I could spend a lot more time there without, like, you know, trying to find a job and just completely moving there, which would be great too, except for it's hot as fuck. Like, it's hard because I live in Canada and I live in a place that gets so cold you can't go outside at some points. And if you go to Florida, like during the summer, it gets so hot you cannot go outside. So, like, it's the two extremes. So yes, it's so nice to have like tropical everything. You know, you throw a fucking, you know, a pineapple husk on the ground and suddenly it grows a fucking pineapple tree. Yeah, I would love that shit. That'd be fucking hilarious and amazing, and you know, you just have like food forever. But it's so fucking hot, man, and I sweat so easily. I get really sweaty really easily, and it's really gross, and I sweat all over my own face and in my ass crack, and yuck. Do not like it. Would not recommend. 0 stars on Yelp or whatever. So I think I would have a hard time living in Florida and spending a ton more time there is difficult. And I used to I spent lots of time there when my mom was going through her cancer shit. I stayed there by myself for a month to help out, and that was it was awesome. But fuck, was it ever hot? And I can't remember when it was. I can't remember what time of year it was. I don't think it was in the winter, but it wasn't like dead of summer or anything. But it was so hot, and I remember like looking out the window of my bedroom at like 1 a.m. and seeing like a, what are they called? An armadillo going through one of their fucking garbages. And I was like, where the fuck am I? This is such a weird place to be. Like, the wildlife is obviously wild, but I saw some weird ass birds this past weekend, and I saw a shark in the wild, which was cool. It was only a little teeny one. I think it was like a nurse shark or something like that. It was kind of cool and cute, but still scary. I don't like, especially because I was in the water. And it swam by me. It's like, ew, get the fuck away from me. And I love wildlife. I think fish especially are really fucking interesting. Like the cuttlefish, that is a wild fucking animal. I love like when people when there's documentaries about like deep ocean shit. I love that. Yeah, they're obviously the aliens of the world. I think it's really fascinating. Do not come anywhere fucking near me. Do not come anywhere near me unless I am separated by a piece of glass thick enough that you can never come out of there and like touch me, touch my body. I don't want wildlife around me. I don't want any of that shit close enough to touch me ever, because ew, gross. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I think you do. I think you might. I had to get out of the water when we were swimming in the ocean over the weekend because something like touched my arm and like, I don't know if it like nibbled. It did something there and it was weird. And it had like a weird, like afterwards I had like a weird rash and like it felt kind of stingy. I think maybe I might have grazed a like a jellyfish or something. Just the thought of that, it just makes me so uncomfortable. But I feel like maybe something like that might have happened. I could also just be super fucking neurotic because I'm always on fucking guard when I'm in the water. Always. I'm always thinking about the fucking wildlife around me, especially in the ocean, because there's so much of it. It's so full of life, even though like we've overfished the fuck out of it and basically destroyed the ocean. It's still full of weird, gross, crazy fucking wildlife. Yeah, no thanks. No, thank you. Please, no more. Get away. But you know what's even worse, in my opinion, than weird fucking squiggly fish in the ocean? Sand. Sand in hot climates. And in Florida, the sand is basically just seashells. It's a little different up north here because it's not the ocean. There aren't as many seashells, and it's a lot of just like crushed up rocks. But seashells don't turn into like rocks, really. They turn into like dust. It's like dusty sand. So the sand isn't sand. It's like crushed up, like dusty seashell, and it sticks everywhere. And because it's so humid, it doesn't matter how much you dry it off. It just like it's like fucking glitter. It sticks to you like glitter. Like it doesn't matter how fucking wet or dry you are. This shit sticks to you like fucking, and you cannot get it off until you shower. And there's my fucking alarm again. God darn it. Cheese and rice. Oh no. I turned off my fucking timer. Okay, good. Yeah, it just sticks to your body and gets inside everything, and it's awful. And because of fucking shells and shit in the ocean, my whole family wears water shoes. And Water shoes are cool because they protect your feet from stepping on really sharp shit in the ocean, which happens, right? There's like, horseshoe crabs and shit. There's fucking, what are those little spiky ball fish? What the fuck is it called? Urchin? There's lots of stuff in the ocean that you can step on, mainly just shells, pointy shells with like broken pieces on them. Like people cut their fucking feet all the time. My sister just fucking cut her foot really bad and got 5 stitches in her foot from stepping in the ocean and stepping on a fucking seashell. And not with us on this trip. It was she lives in the States, and yeah, we're like I heard about it. I wasn't there, but so we wear water shoes, and water shoes are really good for that protection. What they're not good for, though, is keeping sand out. Sand still gets in there. Sometimes little shells. And if you're anything like if you're anything like me, where you're really neurotic and you like anything that's different on your skin, you can feel it, and it feels like it's amplified by 1,000. Like if I get fucking, like if my socks, pilling, you know what pilling is when it's like the bunched up material. If I get one of those somewhere on one of my socks and I put my shoe on, I can feel it, and I have to like pull it off my sock before I can put the shoe on. It has to come off. So when sand and little tiny rocks get into your fucking water shoes, the moment you put them on, I could not stop thinking about how uncomfortable my feet were the entire time I was in the fucking ocean. And then of course, like you try and clean off your feet, and then you have to walk onto the beach, and then they get covered in sand again. So you try and dry them off in the sand, but you don't want to step in like sharp seashells. So you're still thinking about your water shoes. But of course it's that fucking dry, weird sand, and nothing ever comes off. So you have to dust it off with your towel, and now your towel is all covered in sand. So you can't put it on your body. And then honestly, I just felt like I was covered in sand all the time. Even when I wasn't. I just I got the feeling of it, and that feeling would never go away. I was just, hi, I'm Mr. Sand Guy. Mr. Sand Guy. Covered in sand. Sand in his eyeballs and sun on his hand. Sun? Sand in his hand. This is a terrible song. I'm done singing it. But yeah, fucking sand, man. I'm going to start singing again. I hate sand so much. It's my least favorite thing outside of glitter and paint and shit. I love paint. I love painting. I think it's amazing. I've loved it less since I had children because it's so messy. And it's very messy. Very messy, and they're always like, can we do finger painting? And I'm like, no. At the same time, my wife is like, yes, at the same time. And when you're a kid and you hear no and yes at the same time, it's just yes. You know what else is a yes? We'll see. Or maybe. That's always a yes. Kids just, oh, maybe? That's a yes. No matter what. That's how kids think. So if you have kids and you're like, You're really not sure, actually not sure, just say fucking no. Nah. And then if you want to change your mind later, that's fine. But just say no, because they take maybe and they go, oh, that's a yes. Oh, a maybe's a yes. Always. Because it always ends up being a fucking yes, and you know it does. There's an ant over there. No. Ugh. It just spooked itself and ran the opposite direction. And now it's slowed down. It's like looking at me. What the fuck? Okay. Anyway. So yeah. Long story short. Longest story in the world short. Florida was great. Florida is beautiful. I love it. I hate sand so much. But I really enjoyed the company of my family. I think I was okay. I think like I was enjoyable to be around. I wasn't super annoying. Thank you, therapist. Had some nice moments with my stepdad, which was really cool because he and I lost my mother 6 years ago. So, you don't really ever get over that as a kid. You don't get over your mom passing away. As that person's husband, can't even imagine. I don't want to imagine. That's just horrible. And so, we've gotten to a point now where we can actually talk about it. I'm not saying we can't talk about it and not like shed a few tears together, because that certainly happened. But we can actually talk about it, and it's nice. And I really very much appreciate that relationship. It's a really cool one. So, yeah, how exciting! How exciting! It was really also quite nice to be around my grandmother on her 93rd birthday. My grandmother, let me tell you, there is not one other human being in this world like her at all. She is very unique. At 93, she still lives completely by herself in Florida. She's a very compassionate and outspoken Jewish woman, and she's amazing. Unbelievable. She loved seeing her great grandchildren. She is like constantly updating her friends on Facebook about us being there and about all of the things that she did. She's very vocal on Facebook. She's an avid Facebooker, and she has absolutely no problem talking about how she feels. So when my mother passed away, her daughter, I wasn't sure if I was going to need to, because of her Facebook posts, if I was going to need to fly down to Florida and make sure that she, get her on suicide watch, because she was obviously devastated. Everybody is. She's lost 2 kids, actually. She had 2 daughters, lost both of them. The first one was when her first daughter was 18, and this is when I was maybe 3 or 4. So I was really fucking young. And then of course she loses her other daughter while they're in Florida, a million years later. So yeah, she has every right and every reason to be upset, obviously. But yeah, she would have no problem talking about her feelings on Facebook just as a status, not even talking to anybody. And I had no idea how to even interact with that, because it's especially in the early days, it was also very difficult for me to come forward with it, to express myself. So when I see her doing that, I had no idea how to even talk to her. But it's all good. We have a great relationship, and that was a long time ago. So now we're on a better track, I think, and I think she's feeling better, at least based off of her Facebook statuses. She does seem to be a little happier, and she really enjoyed her time with us. So that's nice. And she has a great community where she lives. She is a Jewish lady who goes to synagogue and has this great community of people around her. That she had a birthday party at her synagogue. We didn't go to it because she was expecting 30 people to show up at this fucking thing, and 50 showed up. 50 people came out to this 93-year-old woman's birthday party at her synagogue. And that is damn cool, man. Thank you. If there's no way that any of those people are watching this, because why would they, or listening? But if for some reason you are, for fuck's sakes, thank you so much for supporting this woman to the capacity that you're supporting her. I'm basically just saying that to the universe, because there's nobody from that church here in this podcast. Let's face it, and there never will be, because this podcast says words like fuck, shit, fart, and pussy, and no one who goes to a synagogue, especially who is attending a 93-year-old woman's birthday, is watching anything that has that type of content in it. So thank you, universe. Thank you, those people, or whatever. So yeah, that's it. That's my Florida experience. It was great. It was really good, and I hope to do it again. I hope to do it again before she passes away. she does not seem like that's going to happen anytime soon, because she is fucking like, she is on it. She is like so with it. It's crazy. I hope to be that with it. She's like slowly going blind. Like her eyes don't work very well. She's putting in eye drops and stuff, and like she can't see almost at all. And a lot of people, when they get to that age and they also lose their vision, they start to kind of lose their mind a little bit too. Not her. She's telling me stories about when she was like 16, 17 years old. She's recounting like her earliest memories for us. She's like, oh, I remember when I was 3 and my mom did this and my dad did this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, holy fuck. She is so incredibly with it that I really hope that my brain ages the way that hers aged. Although I'm sure there are certain points in her life where she was like, you know what? I wish I could just go crazy and not have to remember my life, because her life is a fucking tragedy. It's been a very tragic, very difficult time. She lost her husband. She lost both her kids, like at earlier ages too. She lost her husband when they were like, you know, in their mid 30s. She lost her daughter, her first daughter, when she was like, you know, probably in her like 50s. And then she lost her second daughter when she was in her like late 80s. So fuck, what a life. and she moved down to Florida to be with her daughter, to go live like around her daughter, and of course her daughter fucking dies. So it's broken. It's a bad situation that she seems to be making the best of. I hope that I can get down there again soon and talk to her and be part of her life again, because she needs that, and I need that. But she is such a good community that I can sort of entrust that she's not alone, and that she, you know, it won't be one of those situations if for some reason she passes away of natural causes. She'll be in her, you know, house for 6 weeks before somebody finds her. There are people knocking on her door every single day. Every single day. People just like show up at her house and be like, hey, we're just here to like, you know, fertilize your lawn, or we're just here and these are friends. They're not just random people. Like if for some reason one day she had like a home invasion, there would probably be somebody there who would be like, no, you can't do that. This woman, like, you know, would prefer if you didn't come into her house. Thanks. Like there would like, she gets constant phone calls from all of her friends. She's just a very social woman. And at 93, I fucking can't believe how amazing she is. So it's awesome. You go, Grammy. You get it. You go get that. Your life is an absolute fucking mess. And you have handled it graciously. And it's awesome. But I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we're done with this episode. So I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but maybe I'll call it Grandma or something, or Florida. Something like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Who gives a shit, you know? The name of the show, the name of the episode is not important. Neither is the entire podcast. Let's be honest. None of it's important. But it's good to get this shit out there. It's really nice. I'm really enjoying this process. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying people reaching out to me. I'm also really enjoying not caring whether or not this is a popular podcast. I don't care at all. I really don't. I like talking to people, and I like sharing ideas, and I like people reaching out to me. But I don't care whether or not this is a thing. This is just it's just for me. And whoever's watching, if you enjoy it, that's awesome too. That's always a plus. But really, it's just for me to get this shit out there, you know, to be creative. And eventually I want to do stand-up. That's kind of the idea. Eventually I want to do like stand-up comedy. But I mean, it's so hard because you have to be relevant, and it takes me a million years to finally come up with like ideas that I'm okay and happy with. I find that really, that's one of the biggest challenges, which is weird for someone who's podcasting, because I'm just talking and just saying whatever comes to my mind. So what I'm hoping to do is eventually find funny things in some of the episodes here, turn them into bits, and then bring them to some sort of comedy club and try them out. But that could happen one day, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it never happens, and this is just a therapeutic way for me to express myself. But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. I'm not going to put any pressure on you. You do whatever you want to do. If you like to, if you'd like to take part, you're welcome to reach out to me. If you want to email me, my email is aaronsperfect@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram, which is Aaron_is_perfect_podcast. You can find me on TikTok. You can listen to me on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I just learned that there's a Google podcasts thing. So I'm going to try and locate that and get it on there as well. And of course, you can find me on YouTube. Just find me at Aaron is Perfect. That's how you do it. You just find me there. It shouldn't be too difficult. Or don't. Or do none of those things. Or listen to this and be like, nah, this ain't for me, bruh. I'm done. I wasn't, I made it this far, or I've had one episode, but this sucked so bad. This was the worst thing. This one episode was so bad that there's no way I'm ever taking part again. That's okay too. Or just don't even listen to this. Or don't listen to what I'm saying right now. Don't even hear this. Don't find me. Don't find me originally. That's cool too. If you want to go out, if you want to live your life without ever hearing about me or ever finding me, that's fine. Go for it. Which is, if you're not listening to this and you're not part of this, you're already doing that. So good for you, man. Fucking got it. Killing it out there in the world without this. Or you're not, or you're a dead guy or girl or whatever else in between. And yeah. Sometimes I just talk. And it's about nothing. And that's what you've witnessed just now. Because I don't ever know how to properly end a podcast. It still feels weird. It still feels weird ending this. So, I guess, I don't know. I guess I just go. Is that it? I'll put this here. I'll put my phone over here. And then and what I do every time is I take my headphones off and then I just walk over there and I stand still for a minute because I still have shit to do after this. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to walk and stand right there. I know it'll look funny. It'll look like I'm leaving, but I'm not. I'm not leaving. So anyway, bye for now. I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot for watching. See it. Bye.